Hello class. Today we are going to be learning about metrics and measurement. Make sure you have your notes and something to write with. If you don't understand something, pause the video, then go back and watch it again. First, our objectives. You are going to identify the proper tool to make scientific measurement. Then you guys are going to be able to identify proper unit to make scientific measurement. Uh, just quick definition: a unit is a word used to describe a number. So think seconds, miles, laps, meters. Uh, these are all things you probably have done before. We are just going to learn proper vocabulary for class. Let us get started. First, we're going to talk about mass. Mass is the amount of matter in an object, and matter is anything that is made up of atoms and takes up space. Like think about uh, after lunch, I have more stuff in me than I did before. Uh, I have more matter in me after I ate my lunch. As I eat, I'm increasing the amount of mass that I have. When we talk about mass in science class, we use the unit grams. You may be familiar with pounds and ounces. In science, we use grams. As you can see, the tool used to measure mass in the bottom right corner. This is called a balance. One thing you are going to hear a lot of is people using the term weight and mass as the same thing. They actually aren't the same thing. There is a difference between mass and weight. Weight is actually the response of mass to the pull of gravity. I would have a different weight if I were on the moon. The more gravity a planet has, the more weight I feel. You can see if you weigh 100 pounds on Earth, and I know it's not grams, but if you would only weigh 38 pounds on Mars, do you think you would lose any mass? You would actually have the same amount of mass, just different weight. That is why the astronauts appear to bounce on the moon. Next thing we are going to talk about is length. The length is very straightforward. It is the distance between 2 points. In science class, we use the meters as our unit to measure the length between 2 points. When we want to measure the length, we'll use a meter stick. We'll also be using rulers to measure length. Always be sure to use the side that has the metric system on it and not the side with the inches. The next property is kind of tricky. It is volume. A volume is the amount of space an object takes up. We use liters or cubic centimeters as our units to measure volume. That is why it is tricky. There are two units. In math class, we remember that to find the volume of a cube, you multiply the length by the width by the height. To do that, we can use a ruler to measure in cubic centimeters. That is a great way to find volume of a cube, but not everything is perfect cube. So we need another way. The other way involves these tools in the top right picture. These tools are called graduated cylinders. We can put in these cylinders and drop the object to see how much water moved up in the cylinder. This would give us unit of liters for volume. We will watch other video to make this easier to understand. Next one is one we have seen before. We are going to look at property of temperature. Temperature is the amount of heat an object has. Something on the stove has a higher temperature than something in the freezer. This is because the object has more heat in it when it is on the stove. When we talk about temperature, we describe it in degrees Celsius. America is really weird about this. We're the only one of three countries that describes temperature using Fahrenheit. So most of you should be familiar with Celsius. To measure temperature, we will use a thermometer. Okay, last one here. This one really easy. It's time. And time is the duration of an event from the beginning until the end. This video is only few minutes long. That is the duration of the video. How long it took to complete the video. In science class, we'll use units we are familiar with. Seconds, minute, hour, day. We will use stopwatch to measure it. Actually, in class, you will use maybe smartphone or Chromebooks to measure time. Okay, let's do a quick checkpoint to see what we've learned. After the last few slides, you should be able to identify the right tool and the right unit used to make scientific measurements. When the video is done, I would like you to fill out the table to help you study. For example, the definition of mass, we remember, is amount of matter in an object. Unit is grams and the tool is balance or scale. Make sure you fill out the table completely. Use your notes or go back and rewatch some of the video. That is all I have for you today. Please fill out the table before you start the next activity, okay? Have a great day.